Hey folks, I got some more supports for you. First one we got is Shamir, Byleth C. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Professor. The students seem to like you.
Not that much. It would seem that way. Let's go with this.
It doesn't make sense. You don't come across as particularly friendly.
I'm not. I'm an asshole.
Still, I can't deny that you've got skills. It's a little strange, to be completely honest. I had my doubts, but they were right to make you a professor.
I knew I could do it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with I was surprised too. Honesty?
I'd be suspicious of their true intentions, if I were you.
I am. I'm super suspicious.
What's it matter? Seems like it turned out just fine for you. I'll admit, it's unbelievable that you used to be a mercenary. I was a merc before coming here, but I can't imagine pulling off your fancy tactician act.
Not an act. I'm actually good at this.
I freeze up near royals and nobles.
We're a mercenary? You're not a fan of nobles? We'll go with this one. We're a mercenary?
I was. My family had nothing when I was growing up. There were too many mouths to feed, so I left. Joined up with some mercs for the pay. The work suited me, but I never liked having to bow and scrape to our noble employers. And that's what I like about being a knight. I get to punch all the nobles I want.
You'd get along with Raphael and Leone.
I'm joking. But the knights do make a good business partner.
Business partner?
I don't believe in the Church of Seros. It makes me a bit of an anomaly among the knights. Rhea took me in, so I became a knight to repay my debt to her. I may be a knight, but it still feels like I'm doing the same things I did as a merc.
That's because you still get to smite a lot of people.
Who knows, though? Maybe you and I will end up working together again, like at Deirdre. Us knights are a pretty tough crew. I'm guessing you'd run circles around us, though. I'm interested to see where your path leads you.
Me too. Very interested. Alright, up for motivation. I think it wasn't max before. I got a couple more. I could just refuse to let him talk to me, but I guess I'll just do it this way. I'll go up a little bit.
Maybe.
And got Hilda. And Byleth.
Hey, Professor. There are a lot of hardworking people here at the Academy, huh? Even Claude. He acts carefree, but secretly he's so serious. Everyone focuses on training without even needing to be told.
Weird, huh?
Maybe they think I must protect my friends, even if I have to risk my neck.
You're not diligent enough. You won't protect your friends?
Of course I'll try to protect them, but
I'm so weak.
I don't understand why anyone would want to risk their life for someone else. When you die, no matter how you died, it's over. To me, it's more important to enjoy life. We only live once, after all. It's a waste to spend all your time working and being responsible, right?
No. Not sure.
Well, no matter what people may think, I'm going to keep being me. So in our next battle, I'll support everyone from the sidelines.
Yeah, we heard this one before. This must be a C support.
Aw, come on, please. How about I do something for you as a way of saying thanks? Oh, I know! I'll let you join me for dinner in the city. Everyone would be jealous, you know? They'd all love to spend time with me.
Maybe she is Sarah.
Okay, just think on it.
No. Alright, motivation up. Where we're going next. I think this is where we're going next. Stables. I think the next one is Ingrid. Not sure about the pronunciation of that name. I mean, I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's kind of weird. The right way. Seems like I'm not. That way then. I don't know how this is supposed to work. I'm new here. Okay, this is the right way.
A moment, please.
Have to double check that. Yes.
Ugh. Will Father never learn? All of these useless letters are only creating more rubbish in the world.
Knew it.
Professor? Oh, I didn't see you standing there. My apologies.
Was that a letter you were disposing of? I'm sorry, my mic is really being annoying right now.
Oh, that paper. Well, Yes, it was.
Cool.
It was a letter from my father.
You want to throw it away? Isn't it important to you? Go with that one.
I understand where you're coming from here, but I have no need of such things. It isn't like anything of importance was written on it. Curious? I suppose there's no harm in allowing you to read it. Go on then.
My dearest daughter, Ingrid.
Ooh, cool.
Are you well? I trust that you are behaving yourself and refraining from causing trouble for others. Things on the home front are in order. The marriage proposal for you and the Viscount's son should be prepared soon. Although, I am quite certain there are many superior candidates at Garreg Mach Monastery. As you know, the very survival of our family is dependent upon whom you marry. You are the only one left in the family who can make things right. We are all counting on you. Do not lose sight of what truly matters.
This is a letter about parents' protect. Can I just say this both, please?
Yes. Perhaps you found it somewhat entertaining.
Nope.
I've told you that we've never been very well off financially. My noble family, House Galatea, branched off from House Daphne in the Alliance. Shortly after, we were lucky enough to receive the support of the royal family, allowing us to attain nobility, to some extent. But the territory we watch over is poor, its harvest meager, and our noble blood too has grown thin. Neither my father nor my brothers bear a crest. I, however, do bear a crest. Because of this, my father sees me as our family's one hope for the future. A crest is highly prized among nobles. Were I to marry into a greater noble family, that financial support could soothe our woes.
I can't believe he would use it like that. What an awful way for him to... both of these are rude as fuck.
Thank you, Professor. Your sentiment alone is a great comfort to me. Despite my own feelings, I understand his approach to all this. It isn't that he doesn't care for me. I understand it very, very well. Which is why
No reply?
I apologize, Professor. I must be going.
Right. See ya. Bye. Sad. Sad. Okay, I have some supports lined up here too. Big Fool can't support Claude apparently, but not yet. And Tony is gonna come up at some point, I think. Lorenz and Marianne did stable duty together, so here we go.
Tell me, Marianne, do you have a love of flowers?
Well, I don't dislike them.
I've happened upon a spot that's just teeming with splendid blossoms. Would you like me to show you?
I think I would rather stay. It would be for the best if you kept your distance from me.
Well, perhaps I could pick a few of the nicest and present them to you.
Oh.
With a beautiful bouquet in your arms, your magnificence would rival even that of the goddess.
No, Lorenz.
I would
no.
never compare myself to the beauty of the goddess.
I see. Well, I don't mind. Oh, that is a lovely handkerchief you've got there. Did you know that a handkerchief reflects the sensitivity of its owner? Yours tells me you have quite a refined sensibility. If you only applied yourself a little more to the rest of your ensemble, there is no doubt in my mind.
If you admire my handkerchief so much, you may have it.
No, please, that is not what I meant.
It was a gift from my adoptive father. I didn't choose it for myself. I'm sure I don't share his refined sensibilities, though, considering how little he and I have in common.
Finally, she said something like that. I was waiting for that.
I have to go.
Such beauty. And yet, with just a little polish, she'd be a marvel. If only she'd put in some effort.
Oh, come on, Lorenz. You're more perceptive than this.
I wonder.
Oh.
Indeed, I shall make it my mission to awaken her beauty. There is nothing that I, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, cannot do.
Really, no. So close. C+, apparently. Alright. Pythia and Hilda. They max out a B.
Ah, found you. Hello, Lysithia. Hilda? What's that box you're holding? It's making me nervous for some reason. Your big sister Hilda's here, and she's going to make you look all grown up.
Oh god, it's the makeup support, isn't it?
I, don't recall ever asking you to. That's right. I knew exactly what you needed. You didn't have to ask. Now take a seat.
Take a seat, young Chancellor.
With makeup, you can't just pick your favorite colors. You must choose colors that suit you and the occasion.
Oh, come on. They have sitting animations. They could have done this
If you
easily.
go up close and personal, if you're going to a ball, for example, you want to keep it subtle. On the other hand, if you're going to be on stage, the colors should be overt.
I actually learned something from this support.
I've never used makeup before. It sounds complicated. Let's put up your hair to show off your neck. But we'll leave a few strands hanging to make you look more vulnerable. Why would I want to appear vulnerable? I don't want to be attacked. This is for wooing, not warring. When you're older, you might understand the importance of looking a little vulnerable. You're treating me like a child. But I guess it's mostly harmless.
I should get paid to watch this.
Now, when you're standing, put your non-dominant foot a step back. It looks more elegant. When sitting, don't lean back, but don't slouch either. And ensure at all times you are gracefully extending your fingers. Gracefully extending? Suddenly standing and sitting are an exhausting activity. Hilda, that's enough. This is wearing me out. I knew you had potential. You'll go far, my darling. A couple of years to develop your charms, and no girl will outmatch you. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this type of thing. Oh, believe me, you are. With a little help from me, you'll have men falling at your feet. No thanks. You're more suited to such things. I'll leave it to you. I haven't the time or the energy to fuss over how I'm perceived. Even with my best efforts, I'll never be as good at this as you are. Still, this was rather fun. Thank you, Hilda. She really is brimming with untapped potential. And she smiles like that. Wow. Even my heart skips a beat.
Gotta love oblivious people. Alright, we'll probably have more soon. These are recorded after like episode 29, I think. By the way, let me double check that. Yeah, after 29. So next one might be from other episodes. We'll see. Another one. C support.
Hello, Professor. You're really on the move today. A lot to get done, I take it?
Yep. I'm trying to bribe Felix. You're kind of interrupting me.
I'm happy to help. Tell me, is there anything I can do to lighten your load a bit?
Nothing comes to mind. Yeah, but we'll go with this.
Oh, surely there must be something. Don't be shy about asking for help. We're practically siblings, after all. Cut from the same cloth.
Wait, really?
I was raised by Gerald just as you were, so we should have no trouble getting along.
That's why Gerald likes you so much. Yeah, exactly. You were raised by him.
Huh? Did I not mention that? How thoughtless. What an embarrassing gaffe. My parents died when I was small, and I came to live in the monastery. It was an aimless existence. But sometimes a knight would pass by wearing magnificent armor.
I really like his armor, actually.
That knight was Gerald. And the first time he laid eyes on me, he made me his squire. What was he thinking, huh?
That's crazy.
No kidding. I don't think I'll ever fully understand his logic. Later, I heard that the squire preceding me had died of a terrible plague. I looked a bit like him and was about the same age, so Gerald thought me a suitable replacement.
That's kind of dark.
A little nutty, old Gerald, there's no doubt about that. Quite a character. All that was more than 30 years ago. How time flies.
30 years?
That's right. I wasn't even 15 years old. Well, Gerald hardly seems to have aged since then. In fact, over drinks he once told me, perhaps that's a story for another day.
Uh-oh. He let it slip.
At any rate, that's Gerald for you. One of a kind. I don't think there's anyone else quite like him.
Yeah, probably not.
Right. Well, now you've heard my whole story. I hope that you understand now why I feel such a strong sense of attachment to you. If you're ever in a bind, just give me a holler. I'll help however I can.
Thanks for offering, but I can handle myself. How very rude.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I'll let you get back to it.
Very
But
nice,
truly,
Byleth.
if I can take anything off your plate, don't hesitate to let me know.
Alright. 2 big fools, 1 support. Finally, my bribes have worked out. Here we go. I gave him so many
You're
gifts.
certainly not going easy on me. You fight like a mercenary, not a knight. You hunger for victory, pure and simple. You may not be aware of it yourself, but I see it.
I take that as a compliment.
Indeed. Knights ought to have some hunger. I've always thought so. They depend too much on their swords. Only when they're wrested away do knights consider their hands and feet as weapons. That's not how it was for warriors of old. They weren't limited by their tools. Victory is what matters, not the method of achieving it. That's the attitude to adopt.
Claude and Edelgard would get along with you.
I detect that in your style. It is plain to see.
It doesn't seem like praise. It does, actually. Byleth
You
is
may
just
take
dumb.
it however you like. I believe the difference between us lies within that hunger. But where does it come from? From the start, I was aiming to win. Yet I couldn't defeat you. Then I remembered something you said before.
Your aspirations?
Indeed. I was raised to value strength above all else. Whereas you had a reason, an ambition, pushing you toward that hunger. So tell me, what was the reason? Why were you driven to become so strong?
To survive?
That's a mercenary's answer, to be sure. So that is the source of your hunger. I suppose I must find my own.
I'll help you. We can find it together. That seems more like...
If we're to get along, I think not. I'll be content if you continue to train with me. Perhaps it will come to me as I swing my sword.
Okay, whatever. As long as you join me, I'm happy. Alright. Byleth, Felix. Hey guys, I got supports for you. I hope you like it. Supports Lorenz and Claude.
Claude, are you aware of the most recent conflict within the Alliance?
Hello to you too, Lawrence. And you'll have to be more specific. The Alliance is always bickering over one thing or another.
Margrave Edmund is raising objections over the assignment of his troops to the eastern defenses.
If you please one noble, another will only gripe. No matter what happens, there will always be conflict.
That is just the kind of lackadaisical attitude that causes more conflict among us than necessary. Now, listen to me carefully. House Edmund may not hold much land, but the land they do control is quite rich. They also maintain a thriving port. Their influence is poised to rival even the most powerful players in the Alliance, yet they claim they cannot spare a fair share of troops? Do you find it acceptable to let such an obviously unreasonable objection stand?
Yeah, that's why I make videos. To not let obviously unreasonable objections stand.
It's not as though the threat of Elmira to the east has proven all that threatening of late.
Such negligence! What makes you so certain the Almirans will not attack us tomorrow? If certain dukes hold back their proper share of support, it will only serve to weaken House Goneril's hold of our eastern flank.
Too many names, man. I sort of know most of these territories, but it's kind of hard to grasp what they're getting at sometimes.
Calm yourself. I am well aware that the financial situation of House Edmund is quite exceptional. However, what you fail to realize is that they're lacking in troops. They're not lying when they say they don't have that many to spare. As it were, the Almirans have been nothing but peaceful since we refortified Fodlan's Locket. And are you aware that Margrave Edmund paid the majority of the costs for those repairs?
Is that so?
I love it when he's surprised. His eyes get so weird.
In fact, it's largely thanks to the skilled craftsmen he assembled that the fortress is now so impregnable. I, for one, wouldn't want to attack a fortress as formidable as that.
I do see your point. If House Edmund has already made its fair contribution, then that is all we can ask. Very well. I withdraw my objection. But even the sturdiest fortress needs soldiers to defend it. If we continue to squabble amongst ourselves, it will eventually fall.
Well, well. And here I thought he only cared about status.
Nah.
Still, if someone like him really came to lead the Alliance, it would not bode well for Elmira.
Lorenz is not Ferdinand. He's more just noble. Ignatz, Claude. Can't get enough of Claude.
Hey, Ignatz. Getting lost in your imagination again?
Now he's actually praying. Wanna bet?
No. Today I am praying.
Hey.
I'm hoping that if I pray with all my might, she will appear before me.
Then he can draw her.
The goddess, you mean?
Yes. Perhaps it's strange to think about such things.
Nah, you're fine. If I had the chance to meet the goddess, I certainly wouldn't say no.
You have no idea, man.
Especially your version of the goddess, huh? A total looker, isn't that right?
You look at his drawings.
That's a disrespectful way of putting it. I just believe that she's a divine beauty.
Alright, he talked about this.
She'd have to be, considering how she mesmerized the people of Fodlan when she walked among them.
Too true. No doubt an incomparable beauty, that one. Funny to think that even now she must be somewhere, right? Well, I guess she's just floating on a cloud or whatnot.
My favorite way of imagining a god.
Yes, indeed. Watching over us from above. And they say that someday she will return to walk amongst us again.
Well, don't mind me. You go ahead and get some good praying in. If the goddess appears, you let me know, okay?
What? No! If she does appear, I want it to just be the goddess and me.
It'll be way better if I'm there too. I'm saying this for your benefit, Ignatz.
Ooh, you're looking mad.
Why?
Imagine an incomparable beauty standing before you. Do you really think you'll be able to remain calm?
Well, that is to say...
But if I'm there, I can smooth things over. Have a nice chat, invite her to tea. Everything a goddess deserves.
Oh. Well, I suppose that makes sense.
Of course it does. Now, get on with it. Pray like you've never prayed before.
Pick a god and pray. Got a lot of Claude's mannerisms. Raphael, Hilda. You work hard. I don't work hard.
Who is it?
It's me, Raphael.
Oh, Raphael! I'll get the door.
Necessary?
What are you up to? Oh, whoa! What an enormous crate! And look what's in it. Crystal vials, shiny rocks.
And I got this too.
Oh, what a splendid flower. And so fresh. Hey, wait a second. Is that for your sister?
Yeah, I finally got my hands on something cute, just like you suggested.
Oh, right, because he was making like a necklace out of rocks and wood or something, and he didn't like it.
That's so nice. But wait a second. Is this that flower from Fodlan's throat?
Of course. I had to run to make it back in time. It was a lot farther than I thought.
You ran all that way? And while we're on the topic, aren't these Almiran crystals?
Raphael is basically a good-looking Gonzalez at this point.
Such fine carvings on them. They must be the work of a true artisan. It couldn't have been easy getting your hands on these.
I figured I should follow your advice. You know more about what's stylish than I ever could.
Well done. I'm sure your sister will be pleased. All that's left is to make that necklace.
Yeah, about that. I don't know how to put it together. I've spent so long trying to figure it out that the flowers have started wilting. There are only a few nice ones left.
No.
Huh. That's not good.
Make her do it.
I could try telling you how to make it, but you can't afford to lose any more
He's
flowers.
gonna have to do it.
Oh, all right. Looks like it's Hilda to the rescue. I'll take it from here.
Seriously? You're really gonna help me?
I know, right?
Sure. I make myself things from time to time, and this is definitely easier than teaching you how.
Sometimes teaching is hard.
But you owe me for this. I expect to be paid back.
Hey.
Don't you worry about that. I'll find something really nice to pay you back with.
How about a punch to the face?
It couldn't have been easy finding all these trinkets. He must really love his sister.
You're despicable.
Still, older brothers can be so dense.
You're despicable. Alright, B supports Petra, Claude. How we just did Claude. Let's see, Shamir. I guess Claude is just getting a lot of supports in. Whatever. Petra, Claude.
Hey there, Petra.
Claude? Where are you?
Probably up in a tree.
Where else? Wait, I'll meet you down there.
Claude, I thought you were not able to climb the trees.
True, and that is exactly why I worked like a madman to devise a new climbing technique.
I have much admiration for that. To climb is a skill with value.
What can I say? Okay, so I may have cheated a little by using my bow to shoot a rope over a branch, or a few branches, or all of the branches. But once I got up there and hauled up the ropes, it was the same result as if I'd climbed it your way.
I am understanding. That costs more time though, so it is not the best thing for hunting. But you are not harming the trees, so that is an advantage. I am liking this technique.
Wait, but Petra is also not harming this technique, so
You're right. I didn't harm the tree at all. I'm surprised that impressed you.
The tree has a spirit. If you hurt the tree, you will give its spirit anger.
I see. I take it the people of Bridget have a close relationship with nature, then?
Trees give us food and also shelter. We are needing them, and they are needing us.
True. The people of Fodland believe everything is a blessing from the goddess. They've forgotten to be grateful to nature, too. Nature gives us life, sustains us. Without it, we couldn't breathe, couldn't live. It's everything.
people need to remember this.
It's fine to pray to the goddess, but we have to respect nature, too. Don't you think?
Yes. I do not know this goddess, but I know nature. That is the knowing I prefer to have.
You and me both.
Neato. Oops. C+. Claude is not one to get like easy supports with everyone, but like a bunch of like B+. I really want to get this one. Oh well, I beat him a bunch of crap then. Shamir, Claude, I guess. We'll go with that.
There's really no better place for my midday nap than under the shade of a nice big tree.
See, this undoes all of his character development, because he could have known that he was sleeping up in the trees and that would have been better, but now he's forgotten it because of the awful support system.
The twittering of the little birds. It's like they're singing a lullaby just for me. Ah! Is that a dagger? Am I being ambushed?
Claude, why are you lazing about? You should be training.
Shamir! Was this your doing? Talk about unfriendly. Another inch and you would have sliced my handsome nose clean off my roguishly beautiful face.
But I didn't. Fortunately for you.
You know, if you wanted to give me a talking to, you could have done so with your words instead. That's how most people do the talking thing.
Conversation was not my intention.
Oops. This one.
What then? A prank? That's not better. I thought we were under attack. I could have died from the shock.
You wouldn't have been good as a leader to begin with.
Look closely at the dagger.
Is that... right. There's a poor spider impaled on it.
A poisonous spider. The tiniest bite from which can cause fever, headache, and relentless vomiting. Or worse.
Yikes. I guess this little guy is more vicious than he looks.
I noticed it descending towards your face.
No way.
Ah, so you saved me from a certain doom. Well, in that case, I'm sorry for questioning your motives. I promise to repay the favor someday.
I'll keep that in mind.
Wow, so that's what the greatest sniper of all the knights is capable of. Absolutely incredible.
So why wasn't it an arrow then instead of a dagger? That was kind of weird. But otherwise, yeah, that was kind of funny, I guess. I just like Shamir and Claude both, but I think the support could have been better, but hey, whatever. Lorenz, Hilda, C+.
Thank you, Lorenz. You've done so much for me. You've been a tremendous help.
It was but a trifle. Surely there was no small amount of danger, but in the interest of experience, I was happy to endure.
You're so strong that I can't help but feel safe in your presence.
Yes, of course. Although, no matter how much brute strength we bring to bear, it is important that there be a leader on the field as well.
Like you.
Without someone possessed of my sound judgment and adaptability, we would surely be lost.
Yeah, like the judgment that makes you like do chores for Hilda.
Surely, yes. My thoughts exactly. But,
What is it?
I'm going to keep providing support from the back. You wouldn't mind doing more fighting for me, would you?
Oh, well, physically, I can, certainly. But if you mean on an everyday basis...
No.
I knew you would. You have the generous soul of a true noble. I'll have to write back home and sing your praises.
Really? You mean to your father and brother?
Oh god, that's such a great way to bribe him.
Oh, yes. I have to write my big brother pretty often, as a matter of fact. He gets upset if I don't.
That's such a great way to bribe Lorenz.
And yet, I never have much to write about. I've been really straining for topics. That must strike you as a terrible nuisance, the idea of me blabbing about you in my letters.
Oh god, this is perfect.
Nuisance? Oh, hardly. Your brother is one of the foremost commanders of the Alliance. I can think of no higher accolade than to have my name passed on to his noble ear.
Then I'll tell him about all your thrilling exploits. Although, if you can't help, that's okay too. I'll find something else to write about.
This is by far my favorite moment of Hilda trying to get someone else to do work for her.
Oh, fear not. I shall show you exploits of a nature more thrilling than you could ever dream. Incidentally, when you write to him, please do not refer to me merely as Lorenz. Please use my full name, Lorenz Hellman Gloucester.
Should remember to pronounce it as Lorenz as well, because he seems very intent on getting the name right.
This will be an excellent opportunity to advance the status of the Gloucester name.
What a funny boy.
Easy. Easiest manip since speedrunning. Okay, so that's all the supports I got right now. See ya. Alright, quick Marianne support between Byleth and, well, Marianne. And these supports.
Professor? There's something I need to say.
I've been listening to this and like you. We'll go with this one. I think she needs positive validation.
Thank you. How should I put this? I don't seem to be getting along with everyone. I don't contribute much either.
You can go to the Blue Lions if you want. We'll fit with your hair color.
Am I a nuisance to you, Professor? If so, I'll leave. Of course, my adoptive father may not understand, but if I must...
Your adoptive father?
Oh, my adoptive father is one of the new nobles of the Alliance. His territory is to the north. He was a distant relative who took me in after my parents vanished.
Wait, they vanished, so he could be alive.
He's blessed with great drive and ambition. Some may go so far as to call it avarice.
I used to think this was called avarice.
He wishes to marry me off to a powerful noble. That's why he sent me to the academy. If I left now, I'm sure he'd have a strong opinion about it.
We don't leave. Stay. Fine.
Sorry, I strayed away from the topic. I'm not good at telling stories either.
I understand. You were saying.
Oh, of course. Where was I? So, as I was saying, are you sure I'm not bothering you, Professor?
No. No bother at all.
Oh, I'm so grateful to hear you say that.
Thank God, she said something positive for once.
What I'm trying to say is, you should keep your distance. I'm more trouble than I'm worth.
I won't agree to that. Good.
You only say that because you don't know the real me. I'm sorry, I have to go.
I feel bad for her. And yes, I do think she's a better character than Bernadetta so far. But yeah, be support. Move on.